Hello, hello, hello. So good to be here with you all on this message that is coming through, downloaded from Spirit, and now here for you all. So we are moving into this glorious time of year where it is kind of the wrap-up of summer coming for a lot of families and children going back to school at the end of usually kind of August. And we are in this time of the year too where there's been a lot of travels typically and folks moving around the globe, getting to see new places, being a part of new experiences. And we have learned so much from that over the many years, having family, children in this life. And we are sharing around the topic today around connection to other from consciousness, connection within the spectrum of soul to soul connection. And we say this because often if we're letting some part of ourself guide relationship that is not conscious, which could be child part oriented or ego process that has not dissolved, or even an external energy coming from consensus consciousness, tribal feminine, tribal masculine energy kind of coursing through or moving through our system, which, by the way, can all be resolved and does with good clearing and healing work. Until that happens, we can have a part of ourselves that can take over the wheel and say, this is what relationship is. Relationship is attempting to meet someone's expectation, or them to meet your expectation as a way to maintain the relationship. Now, this expectational cycle dynamics that play out between people are typically usually stored within the system in a very unconscious way. They play it often in the form of patterns. And these patterns are habitual ways of showing up and being in the world with ourselves and others as a way to supposedly maintain, again, safety or control. And they only really kind of are happening still because we haven't had the awareness to even see them happening when they are. And in the face of relationship, it makes relationship, as you can imagine, really just not so pleasant to be in. I can't tell you how many times these patterns have attempted to play out in relationships in this life of this soul named Reagan, and specifically within marriage. And wow, has it been just like a journey to keep seeing those patterns and kind of unwind out of them and bring them to the surface and dissolve them into the light. And now what's really cool is that we don't have to play out those patterns like we used to, because there's enough consciousness to see them before that happens. And until then, relationship often is based in these unconscious patterns. It's true that when we go into a pattern, we go unconscious. We are not awake to it happening. We can have a pattern of shaming and blaming someone. We can have a pattern of judging when we feel unsafe. We can have a pattern of withdrawal, resistance to feedback. We can have a resistance to experiencing a conversation that's uncomfortable, so therefore we just kind of selectively listen. These are all patterns. We can have a pattern of attempting to defend oneself through words or even through physical action. Some folks can get kind of feisty and physical action. In fact, there's a lot of patterns that can play out within relationships, and really all of it comes from unresolved pain, unresolved wounding, possibly even trauma that's still stored inside your body that has not been resolved. So we get to get really real with this stuff, start to really feel and observe our energy system, like what's really going on here, what's been happening, and how much of this is really is based in fear, right? How much of these patterns really is based in unresolved pain, wounding, trauma that's created fear, the illusion of something happening or going to happen that or is happening that is fear-based. So let's all take that slow and deep breath. So feeling that for a moment, really observing and scanning your energy system. How much fear has been going on in your system? I mean, really taking a minute and really feeling, how much have you been thinking lately? How much do you think? Did you know that we don't have to think? And a lot of the thinking is basically the ego infusing and inserting itself through the mind and inserting fear, worry, doubt, beliefs of any kind, by the way, are to be transcended. If you can have a wrong belief, you can have a right belief, you can have a good belief, you can have a bad belief. It lends to duality. All beliefs lend to duality. We can live without beliefs. Isn't that amazing? We can live within a soulfully aligned, truthful way of being in the world. This is different than belief. Beliefs have created war, as you can imagine. Like, our beliefs are greater than your beliefs, so we're going to fight you for our beliefs. It is true that we are to dissolve all beliefs, and through the mind, the ego process will insert beliefs into our mind as the way to say, oh, you need these beliefs as the way to navigate through life. Meanwhile, you're subtly judging and blaming and shaming others who don't actually believe what you believe. Is that consciousness? No, it's not. So can you feel the inertia now in your system that's starting to rise based on this share? Can you see how there's a part of yourself that's already saying, well, that's just inaccurate and I don't like that, and perhaps you can feel that resistance. So if you do, start to utilize this moment as a way to practice seeing a part of yourself that now has rose. Is this ego process? Is this child part process? And see where within the mind, how much you have been fearing. It's also been fear. And this part possibly that just rose, if there was one, actually holds fear of how to let go of beliefs now. If that's even true, or even shaming you for not knowing that sooner. Right? So do you see how this stuff works, right? If we really become aware of our energy system, consciously aware of our energy system, we'll see that we have some of these dense pockets, and often they're stored in different parts of our chakra system, like blockages. We are a luminous light being. We have a chakra system. We have an energy system. This is real. This is happening every day. And each one of those chakras function in a unique way to hold energy for us. And when they're in great connectivity and openness, everything should be traveling and moving in unison through the system. Nothing's disjuncted. But when we have these type of pockets of pain and wounding, and also what's called karmas that we have not resolved from past lives, which simply is just basically our lessons, unresolved pain within lessons that we have not yet fully resolved. From that, we have now discovered this degree of way of being, basically a way of being that now is in this way that is so not serving for ourselves. Apologize, the words got jumbled for a moment in this channeling. That can happen. And we start to function and become like our beliefs, like our fears, see the world through the lens of the fear, and that we tend to experience life through the lens of these beliefs, these fears, these worries, and you can only imagine what we're seeing and feeling and what we're experiencing. So we ask you, please, to know that all of this can be cleared, all of this can be moved out. So please take that slow and deep cleansing breath now. Deep, slow cleansing breath. And feel now how wonderful it is to just rest in this beautiful spaciousness. If you can just feel that in the breath. See if you can turn off your mind. So there has been both this transmission of this channeling with truth, and now the possibility of surrendering some of it within this spaciousness to the light. Just letting it go now. And just feeling how good it feels. to see the truth, to know the truth, and to be able to start to navigate through some of this stuff. By knowing the truth, what may have really been going on in your energy system that's been attempting to play out and cause havoc for you. So please, know that it's so possible to let this go by surrendering it now. Going inward into your heart, into your soul, surrendering it to the light. I surrender all these worries, all these fears, all this pain, all this unresolved wounding to the light now. I don't have to hang on to this. And whatever remains in my system, please, I ask you to illuminate it for me in a loving, easy, graceful way. And can you now move into what's called forgiveness? Forgive it all. Forgive the lack of awareness and consciousness that led to it inserting itself into your system, not knowing how to move it up and out. Forgiveness is a way to unlock all of it if you so choose in this moment, as much as is ready to be moved. I forgive all that has been stored in the system that is ready to be moved out. Taking a deep and slow breath. It is okay not to have known how to do this before. So much of it is around surrender, so much of it is around forgiveness. So much of it is around courage to no longer say, I'm going to allow my system to take the wheel, any of these parts of myself that not have yet integrated. So feeling now that how much that is what's been trying to play out in your late relationships. That with this stuff moves out, we can just love, we can just care for ourselves and another in an equanimous, balanced, harmonious way. Is it possible that this stuff that's been sticky and glommy in your system is what has made conscious relationship feel less than optimal, less than available, and less inspiring to even seek? Relationship with other is so beautiful. True, heartfelt, loving connection. It is truly a gift. We encourage you to do this inner work, to ask questions, to do the work, and really find yourself at peace and actually enjoy a relationship more and more so over time. Thank you so, so much. We are grateful. Thank you for hearing this message today. And God bless. Thank you. Taking that slow and deep breath.